Hi there, you're still on your election headquarters. It's midday now. My name is Benis Abubedu. Barely 24 hours to the much anticipated polls tomorrow. And well, I've been bringing you up to speed on the last minute events by the various political parties. And we've also been doing some analysis of swing constituencies in the Greater Accra region. And also, we've also been getting your comments on social media and your opinions on the various things that are happening with relation to the elections. We also took you to town, specifically to the bus terminals, to look at how some would-be voters are preparing to travel to vote in their respective constituency. And we'll also bring you some news on the police who are still in the process of deploying personnel across the country to ensure peace and order in tomorrow's polls. And we'll also tell you how the progress has been with this particular exercise at the Independence Square. You can stay interactive with us on Facebook. We are Joy News on TV, same name. We'll find us on Twitter and Instagram. And on WhatsApp, you can send us your messages via the number 0560 800,000. Let's now head to the Ashanti region. My colleague Erastus Asare Donko is out of Fin. So we heard some news about another discovery of some thumb-printed ballot papers there. And hello, Erastus.
Yeah, hello.
First, can you confirm if the police has discovered another set of thumb-printed ballot papers in the Ashanti region, specifically at Ofinso this time?
I must say Ashanti region is a bit on the suspicious side. This is a false alarm, indeed. This is definitely a false alarm, according to the police. Yesterday, some supporters of the NPP, headed by Ben Abdallah, who is the MP for Finsu South, according to the police, masked up in front of the youth organizers' house, and they wanted to do something to him, according to the police. And they have been threatening him before that they suspect he has ballot papers in his house. And so they wanted to do justice to him, according to them. So they masked up in front of his house. And he also called his party chairman. They also brought in supporters of the NDC. So it was a near clash, and the police had to step in, arrest him, take him to his house, conduct a search, and found some 264 copies of some voter education material. These are ballot papers, but then they've been written on top, voter education. These are the ones that were given to the various political parties for educational purposes. I have cited them myself. And so when they found out it wasn't the ballot papers they were expecting, they all dispersed. And so the police is urging caution now.
So you're confirming this is a hoax. And but let's go back to yesterday's story, the particular hotel that the thumb-printed ballot sheets were discovered. Any new updates on that case?
As of yesterday, we still learned that the receptionist was being held still by the police administration. I also learned from the police bureau they intend getting to the bottom of this whole thing, who planted the bags in what room, and who rented that particular room of the hotel. And so, as I'm speaking with you, all the security couples are still alert. They are investigating. They tell me I should wait till close of day to get more information.
Erastus, any information from the management of the hotel?
Not yet. We are still gathering information on that.
All right. So that particular press release going viral on social media is not from the management. Is that it? Well, we've lost Erastus on the line there. But let's go to Raymond Aqua, who has a lot of analysis to do. Raymond, the Ashanti region, that's a lot happening there. But before we go to Raymond, calm has returned to the northern regional town of Tripoli after a clash between the NDC and MPP supporters there, which left 2 people dead. According to the regional commander, the police have begun investigations into the matter. Some swing constituencies in the Ashanti region, telling us really what the demographics are and what usually happens in that particular region in the past elections. Thank you for staying here on your election headquarters.
I'm back. This is still your coverage of the most comprehensive form you can find, and we're going straight to the most important constituency in the Ashanti region, making the news today. That is the Ofinsu constituency. You've heard of the attempted ballot of some fake nature that's been planted in some corner that they found out to be fake. In the particular nature, we find it. But let's get to know what the Ofinsu constituency is all about. First and foremost, this is the Ashanti region map. If you see it clearly here, this particular map depicts the Ashanti region out of the national map. If you see where you have green specific areas colored and green in the corner and also in that, those are the areas the NDC won in 2012. I'll tell you the trends over the period too, but just for 2012, this shows you that there are 4 seats of the NDC in the entire Ashanti region. The Ofinsu South constituency, where Ofinsu as its capital is here. So I'll actually highlight that particular part for you. So this is the constituency we are talking about, out of the Ashanti region, in an area that's very important. But what has been the voting trend over the period? In the year 2012, the NPP's Ben Abdallah Banda, who was actually having a second term in office, won again. Proud to his winning anyway, the NPP's Francis Kwesibo in 1996 was the first to step in. In 1992, there was no NPP candidate. The NDC won. You know that the NPP boycotted that particular election, so we couldn't have the NPP contesting that. And since then, the NPP has won all through. So if this is always a seat that belongs to the NPP, why would there be turmoil in an area like that? There's a reason behind that. The reason is that it's one of the places where you can see settlements of different and varied nature beyond the indigenous Ashantis you can find yourself. Also, because of the bustling activity in terms of economy there are people who are very strong, who wish to make sure that this trend doesn't continue, who happen to fight the NPP all the time. So it's even been declared by the NCCE and also the Electoral Commission as one of those hotspots. We hope to see, and probably we'll see whether at the end of 2016 election, just within the week, we'll be getting to know something different will happen there. But the voting lines in terms of the, what they call it, the difference between the NPP and the NDC has always been very wide. The last time it was 12,000 votes. Before that time, it was 9,000 votes. In fact, the least difference between the NPP and the NDC in this area has been 7,800. So that is offensive for you. Now, as you can see, in 2012, the registered voters were 60,571. As I speak to you, for Wednesday's election, it's going to be some 74,000 people who will be voting in this area. That will bring in a new dynamic because this particular 74,000 have fresh voters constituting a little bit over 25%. Mostly, fresh voters happen to explore further and not go in the usual stance that their parties or their family members have gone in times past. We hope to see whether this will reflect in the analysis in this case. So if you see Ofinsu in itself, all of these sections are areas that are connected to the Brown Afro, the Afro part also known. The difficulty there is that there are smaller zongos and settlements which have voted only NDC all through. So if you count the number of electoral areas in this particular constituency, 16 of them since 1996 has never changed their vote, actually being for the NDC. In fact, when it was together as Ofinsu South and Ofinsu North or as Ofinsu, it was the same case. When the North was taken away, it has not changed at all. The specific electoral areas being the Zongo, and there's also the Indina areas which actually vote for the NDC. These votes have been minimal compared to the larger constituency-wide approach to the voting pattern if you look at how Ofinsu goes.
Well, Raymond, thank you. But now let's talk about swing constituencies in the Ashanti region. Earlier you brought us some analysis of swing constituencies in the Greater Accra region. What's the trend like in the Ashanti region?
It's interesting, as I did show you earlier on, and maybe I'll bring you back the Ashanti region. If you see the region in this particular format, the places the NDC has always won, it maintained it. The places the NPP has always won, it maintained it. And the difference is that wherever the NDC won is a place that is predominated by settler communities, either from the north, also from upper west, and also upper east. That is the difference. For example, if you see in the middle section of this particular constituency, you will see that there is, if you see in the middle section of the constituency, you will see that there is Aswasi in the striking close to the Menchia Palace itself. That constituency is predominated by Muslims and also Zongo communities, Sawaba and all of those other areas in Asawase. And the NDC wins that comfortably when it was actually taken away from the Asokwa constituency. If you look at the other flanks of the region too, these are places that the NDC gets to win. The NPP and the NDC do not all the time alternate votes. Indeed, independent candidates in the strongholds of the Ashanti have done better in some cases than the NDC candidates. So it's a bit, extended to talk about swing in the Ashanti region. They've always gone for who they wanted to vote for, and mostly it's been based on ethnic lines.
Right, Raymond, thank you for those updates. But let's talk about anything peculiar to this region. Like you mentioned earlier about the Greater Accra region, what makes it special is that it has that tendency to project the winner. Whoever wins in the Greater Accra region is likely to win as president. So what's that special thing about the Ashanti region? Anything to know?
In the Ashanti region, the voting has always gone the NPP's way. And even when in 1992, in the presidential elections, when the NPP abandoned the parliamentary elections, they voted massively for the NPP. Of course, the Dankwa-Buzia tradition has its headquarters right from there, right from the days where the National Liberation Movement, headed by Boafo Koto, who was the chief linguist of the Asante, there has been a consistent approach to voting, which has been the NPP way all through. What is interesting now is that whenever the Ashanti region vote for the NPP reduces, the NPP gets to lose the national elections. So in the years that the NPP lost in 2008 and 2012, and also in 1996, there were significant reductions in the people who voted for the, NPP in the area. In the areas that the NPP won in 2000 and 2004, and more important, in 2004, 86% of the people in the region voted for the NPP. That should tell you that it's been massive, especially when it comes to voting for the NPP. But when there's a reduction, if you're a political party who gets only a little over 5 million votes, and the Ashanti region alone gives you more than 1.5 million votes, all that you need is to spring up some 300,000, 400,000 from the other regions. That's why people have even suggested for presidential elections, the NPP can win by just winning the Ashanti, the Eastern, and sharing votes in the other regions like it did in 2008, and even winning some 2 more swing regions as it did in 2000 and 2004.
Right, Raymond, thank you very much. We'll come back to you later for some more updates. But now, let's go back to the Ashanti region, and particularly on the issue of the thumb-printed ballot sheets, which we know now is a hoax from Ofinso. COP Kwesi Fori has been speaking to that. Let's take a listen.
I would like to use this opportunity to advise the public to be very careful of the utterances, especially the party leaders. Police are on the part of election, not on the part of any political party. We shall act professionally. The suspicion at this time is too much. I repeat, the suspicion at this time is too much. If police have not been swift and professional, we will have recorded some casualties. Anybody who creates unnecessary tension and spread any false information will be dealt with in accordance with the law.
So at this point, what we are dealing with is not actual ballot papers.
Oh, I can talk on authority that it's not a ballot paper. It's just for education materials.
So what will happen from now on this case?
As I said, as we are aware, we are investigating, and the truth will come out soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, anybody who has a hand in it in spreading this false information will be dealt with accordingly.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Presidential. Yes, presidential.
Well, calm has returned to the northern regional town of Tripoli after a clash between NDC and MPP supporters there, which left 2 people dead. According to the regional commander, the police have begun investigations into the matter.
Yeah, there were clashes last night. And the whole thing started around 9 o'clock in the night. When the 2 political parties have been given the chance to go and have their political rally in the last round for the villages. Yeah, the MPP went to Wanchiki, which is on the Togo border, and then the NDC went to Wanjuga. And what they used to do is that anytime they close from rally, they would just ride their motorbikes through the street and then probably go home. So that was what we were expecting. But yesterday, it didn't happen that same thing. When the FPP have started their whatever, they were running through the street on their motorbike. Around 10 p.m., it was like the NDC was also expecting to be given a chance to run into the street with their patrol, with their motorbike. So around 10 thereabouts, there came a clash between the NPP youth and then the NDC youth after the elders have gone home. And the clash resulted to, in fact, a death. I've just been told that the one who died is an NPP member called Abukar Nambe, 31 years old. He suffered from gunshot. The NPP chairman just came to confirm that he's a member of the NPP, political party. And then there was clashes, and there resulted to burning of some shops, both by NPP members and both by NDC members, cutlass wounds, stones, a whole lot of things. And then eventually, about 14 people sustained different injuries. 3 females and then 11 males. And then 5 of them whose situation was so critical were taken to Tamale. And then the rest were seated here, 6 of were discharged. So that is that. That is the whole thing.
Superintendent Amankwetia, where was the point of provocation coming from? From which of the sides?
A question I cannot answer. Because prior to that, on the 26th of last month, the police command and then the foreign chief held a peace talk for all the 4 political parties contesting for positions here. Then, supposedly, they all swore that they will maintain, uphold peace till and after the election. So, normally, what they used to do is, after they've gone on rally, wherever they will go, they will just line up in the street with their motorbike, and then from there, they go to their pavilions and go away. So, yesterday, actually, what caused their provocation? As who started, I cannot tell. You know, and I don't know, nobody as of now has even come to make a complaint that this person assaulted me first, this person also hates me back and whatnot. So they are all hiding in their house.
Okay. And once you are police, you're on the ground, and you know that these are flashpoints, why is it that you didn't put in place security arrangements?
Normally, we are prepared for the election, which comes up to tomorrow, right? We are prepared for the election, which we know that there will be a whole day for us. And then all of a sudden, this thing happened yesterday. And it happened today in the night. So whatever it is, we cannot be foreknown to prepare ahead of this thing. Because this is what they've been doing on their return from rallies. They just patrol the street and then they go back. So that's what is happening. So we couldn't foresee that such a thing will happen. And moreover, it was late, very, very late, around 9:30, because 9 o'clock I was still in the street. And it's just like started like a motorbike hijack, not even hijack, a motorbike crashing, and then they started to fight, started throwing stones, and then even the gun who killed the guy was fired late, somewhere 12:30 to 1 o'clock. They fired around 45 minutes to 1 hour, late in the night. And then we got to know that somebody has died out of it.
I see. And
then some stores were also burnt. While the NDC were burning some stores belonging to the NPP, the NPP were also burning some stores belonging to the NDC. We were lucky to have reinforcement from Yendi, both military and the police, who came to be for security.
Okay.
And then by the time that they came, the state have been able to silence the situation. So we are doing well for us to prevent whatever will happen tomorrow.
My colleague wants to ask you a question, but before she comes in, which town did you say the 2 parties decided to convene the event?
The NPP went to Wenchiki.
Wenchiki.
That's the last town where we have the customs and the immigration.
Okay, that's Wenchiki. Wenchiki. And then the NDC went where?
The NDC went to Wenjuga.
So we have Wenchiki and Wenjuga.
They are far apart. They are not close villages whereby you can say this can happen. And even at the rally, nothing happened there. Nothing happened at the rally ground. They all came to ceremony, and this is where the incident took place. Nobody has come to make a complaint, and they have not received any information that this man did that, this man did that. So we are just working around the clock. I just want to inform the paramount chief, who has been a stakeholder for peace talk, and he has been with me all along, that we are now going to call the party, especially these two political party leaders, to my office, and then ask them how they violated the law that they have made, or the swearing in, and then from there probably names will be picked up, and then we can instruct the arrest.
Well, a little correction here. The police officer we heard earlier speaking from Ofinso about that hoax on the discovery of some thumb-printed ballot papers is rather ACP Edward Odro-Kwarting. Now, he is the Ofinso Divisional Police Commander. This is your election headquarters, and this is a special news on the eve of Election Day. We'll bring you some more stories right after this. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying here on your election headquarters. Now, the Kumasi Airport will soon become an entertainment hub in the sub-region with the construction of Ghana's second but largest national theatre in the enclave. Now, the 3,000 capacity facility will be among other facilities being developed as part of the second phase of the Kumasi Airport project at a cost of $65 million US. President Mahama disclosed this when he cut sword for works to begin on the project, which would be executed by Contractor Engineering, a Brazilian construction firm.
President Mahama says government has plans to develop the airport area into one-stop entertainment center. According to him, private investor participation is being sought to partner government to help develop the area, especially put up a hotel facility for tourists and visitors to the Ashanti region. President Mahama reveals the airport is being upgraded to meet international status, with flights expected to fly from Kumasi to the sub-region at all times.
My brothers and sisters, this airport is going to be designed not only for air travel. The vision of the Ghana Airports Company, together with the Kumasi Metropolitan Authority, is to develop the whole area around the airport into an entertainment area where you have restaurants, you have cafes. We even intend to design so that the private sector can build a local airport hotel here, close to the airport, so that people can fly in, stay in the hotel, attend any funeral, come back to the hotel and fly back the next day without any hassle. Then we also are designing the construction, that is government, the construction of Ghana's second national theatre here in Kumasi near this airport. This national theatre we expect will be bigger than the one in Accra. Accra seats about 1,500 visitors. We expect that this will seat about 2,500 to 3,000 visitors at a time.
President Mahama is hopeful the airport, when completed, will boost economic activities in the Ashanti region.
We believe that this airport will lead to increased tourism and more visits to the city of Kumasi, and would also stimulate economic activity. Airports are linked to tourism, and so it will be good for the hotel business. There will be more visitors to Ratri Park. There will be car rental companies to rent cars to visiting passengers, and so many other things that can be done.
Meanwhile, President Mahama has assured original owners of the KJTR Central Market project will be issued with a facility when completed. He was addressing supporters when he toured the project site on Tuesday.
Disqualified presidential aspirant Kwame Asiedu-Walker is asking other disqualified aspirants to suspend their endorsement of the qualified candidates and throw their weight behind the eventual winner of tomorrow's presidential and parliamentary elections. He says the country stands to benefit from their ideas if they contribute them to a national development agenda instead of party programs. Kwame Asiedu Walker is one of several presidential aspirants whose nominations were rejected by the EC. He says partisanship will further polarize the country.
Not that one Ghana is not going to take sides. As a movement, it's for the interest of Ghana. I've said it, Ghana's interest must be paramount. Ghana's interest must be first. That said, whoever wins, whichever party wins, we will cheer them on, we will congratulate them, and certainly, should they ask for our assistance, we will avail ourselves to support them and certainly help solve the problems that Ghana is facing. Should they call us to provide some of our ideas and some of our policies to help accelerate the development of this country. This is for this reason why we are withholding our endorsement. Let's not say Ghana, dear Sanitia Pacho. Let's not say, as for Ghana, this is how it's done. Certain things must be done differently. That is the only reason why Ghana can move forward. If we choose to stay as if this is what Ghana, well, just do it as Ghana does. This is what we do in Ghana, so just follow the, no. Somebody must lead a change.
You're watching Joy News today, your election headquarters. Let's go to the central region now. My colleague Akablé is there, has some updates from the PPP. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Benny.
Hi, what can you report?
To ask and speak to you now is the commissioning of the Indum School of Business and Technology. It's an official event. Dr. Indum wrapped up his campaign activities yesterday, so this is an official event that forms part of the group Indum's project, and he's here commissioning that project. But some very key speeches have been delivered already. Dr. Indum himself is here to address the gathering. A very crucial point was made by Openi Kojo Mensah, and he is the head of the family that owns the land. You recall there were some disputes about the land, about the fact that Dr. Indum didn't have the permits to build on this particular land, and that point was made by a government official. And in fact, the point the leader of that family has been making is the fact that they own the land and they offer the land to Dr. Papa Kwesi, and they are impressed so far with what Dr. Indum has done on the land, and they see no reason why anyone should raise any questions about such a land that has been used for a facility that will not just be serving Dr. Indum himself, but be serving the people in the neighborhood. Then again, the rector for the Indum School of Business and Technology, Professor James Hawkins Ephraim, he also spoke just a few minutes ago, and he has been explaining the kind of programs they will be undertaking here at the university. He says they'll be offering BSc Banking and Finance, BSc Information Technology Management for Business, and BSc Information and Communication Technology. So for starters, those are the three main programs that will be offered here at what could be known as the Indum University. He says that is actually the name that the university has been registered, but because of the accreditation issues, the initial focus, and that is what has led to the name Indum School of Business and Technology, and that is what has been, is going to be commissioned in some few minutes' time, because Dr. Indum will be speaking, and afterwards he officially commissioned that. But it will be beginning enrollment in January next year. All right,
Joseph, thank you for those updates. We'll come back to you when the commissioning takes place. Polling center after voting, that's the warning from the Ghana Police Service to voters hours to the country's general elections. You may recall that David Ashanti of pro-NPP group Let My Vote Count urged voters at the party's final rally on Saturday not to leave the polling centers after voting. Head of Election Task Force Chief Superintendent Benjamin Agozo says that should not be done. He says the police will drive away anyone lurking after voting.
Now we are also saying don't crowd the place after voting. Please go home, and when you finish voting, when the polls are over, you come back during the counting to observe.
But you have heard David Ashanti of Let My Vote Count says that everyone should wait after voting at the polling center. You've heard that, right?
I'm aware of statements being made by not only the person you have referred to, but the other individuals. But we are saying be cautious and do not do that.
Will you drive people away if they lurk around after voting?
Now, what we are saying here is that The polling station is not a lorry park. The polling station is not a rally, a place to do rally. If everybody decides to stay there, can you imagine the confusion that will erupt?
Now, he added the police has begun deploying what they call robust forces to border towns and noted flashpoints.
We are still deploying this morning throughout the night, even up to this morning, because there are identifiable hotspots that we thought we should send some robust police personnel to, who can take care of certain situations. That's what we've been doing since last night. And I can tell you that between last night and this morning, we've deployed over 100 personnel in smaller vehicles, the pickups that you are seeing at the background, double cabin, to over 25 locations in Ghana, and some of them towards Lubo, others towards Aflau, others towards Hamile, others towards Paga, others towards Nkwanta North and South, Ketu South and North, we are Sampa, and all around. And to some other places like Kumasi, Bunkrugu, and other places that you can be sure of, we anticipate some challenges during this period.
And in business, President of the Ghana Chamber for Commerce and Industry, Nana Dr. Pieje Dankawoso I, says workers should be allowed by the employers to exercise their franchise on election days.